Okay, what's up, guys? I'm Stever. I shot a message to Westy on, I guess, a comment on his YouTube video. He's talking about anybody got tips, and I feel a little weird calling it a tip or thinking that I'm giving him a tip. I thought maybe some of the things I did would help him, seeing how we putt with the same putter, and we have a little bit different approach. Um, so I told him, yeah, I'll throw a video together, and then started talking on the general chat in the Discord last night, and there was a pretty interesting discussion. So um, I realized that I putt way harder than most people do. So I was a little shocked by that. I figured there'd be a lot more people that putt hard. So I told Wesley I'm going to try to keep this video short. I don't know why I even bothered telling him that. It's probably going to run long. If you don't like that, skip forward to where I'm throwing putts, I guess. But I do want to talk a little bit about why I do it, concepts, things I've learned in my life. Um, so I played disc golf Valley for like 4 years. My level's not that high. I took big long chunks of the game. Like pretty much, I 3-starred all the courses, got my Blister Pros. Multiplayer didn't hold my attention, so I took a big break. Came back for a brief period. Rives were a thing. I think I got like the Blue Escape and the Beast PD. Took another break. Came back and the multiplayer beta was going on, and that's when I kind of really got back into it. So I still am nailing all my lines. I got some room for improvement, but don't we all? Um, Before my current job, I was a golf pro for like 9 years, so I taught golf for a living. Um, and just that and one other thing, I also like to shoot guns. So there's another parallel with that I kind of interesting. I was gonna say interesting. I'm new to this, by the way, so it's gonna be might be some hard cuts. So I kind of learn what the heck I'm doing. But this is concept number one that I've learned in my life. I've been a student of the game of golf my entire life. I started playing when I was 8. Um, so when you're putting, there's something called a dead weight putter. You're trying to get the ball exactly in the hole. And then there's another concept called holding speed, where your idea is to run the ball by. So I say the greatest player of all time, Jack Nicklaus, is a dead weight putter. His reasons was that it made the hole bigger. I guess what he means by that is if you catch a lip, it's got more of a chance of falling if it's got a lower speed. Um, but the thing about Jack is while he was a good putter, he won. He won because he golfed his ball. And what I mean by that is that man could put the ball wherever he wanted to. So um, he won by shaping the ball, hitting certain spots. His putting, while it was definitely serviceable, wasn't what was winning him everything. The fact that he had so many putts that he didn't need to make them all, and I think that's a lot how this game is. Y'all golf your discs, I guess. Um, you hit your line so well, you're always in a position. So I was shocked when I found out like just how soft everybody putted. So the thing about when you put dead weight is if you hit it a little hard, you're now missing the hole. A little softer than you want, you're missing the hole. Right, left and right, miss the hole, miss the hole. All right, don't have to go very far. If we're gonna hit this putt at a holding speed, where we're going by the hole, about yay far. Okay, get it just high in the middle here. Right. So now if I'm hitting short, it takes a lot longer before I'm outside the hole. All right, same concept from the long. All right, I'm gonna take the break out of this putt. If you're gonna hit it really firm, right, concept's even more. Right. So, all right. Well, wives, am I right? Another hard cut there. Sorry. But I was pretty much done with this analogy, anyways. You guys get what I'm trying to say. So, the next thing, um, let's go mention like the shoot guns. So, there's a concept of sighting in rifles. you're shooting like an AR style gun, you really want to sight it in for like 50 yards, and you think that that's really close, but you're actually, when you sight it in for 50, you're also sighting it in for 200. The idea being that it's going to rise, it's not going to start dropping. Gravity won't overcome that velocity until we're talking right around this mark here. So you set your gun in for 100, now you're dropping, right? So you're low 50 at 100, right? You're dead on at 50, then you're a little high at 100, still on at 200. All right, so I kind of view this is, and I don't want this to be a me versus you type thing. This is how I used to putt too, and I was not as successful as I wanted to be. I was a fuse guy, threw a fuse, and I actually aimed higher than you guys. So I liked having an aim point. I didn't use the default aim, and I would put my top chevron on the top of the basket, and it made it very touchy. Short distances, I missed short putts. Winds were very difficult, so it didn't work well for me. So I switched it up. Last illustration, I promise, and this might be boring, but all right. So I'm kind of viewing y'all's putt kind of like this. Again, not y'all, but you guys are all right. Putting here. All right, these white lines are the basket, bottom of the band, top of the cage. So default aim has you aimed up here, just like a rifle. Your disc is taken off lower than what you're using to aim with. So we're talking those chevrons are above where the disc launches from. So while we don't control where they are necessarily as far as aiming, changing a zero, our power makes a big difference. So when we're at this, we get a little extra power, boom, we're into the band. Obviously it's a little less. All right, so there's not a very big margin of error right there. You aim lower, right? Your flight's going to look a little more like this. Okay, you'll notice it stays within that window longer. So probably kind of like that. Zero hard. Okay. Sometimes you might have a little bit more rise. It kind of takes off from lower down here because you're aiming it down. There's a little bit of that wind bounce action. But again, you have to throw it pretty hard before it gets enough lift to get up into the band. So margins of error, in my opinion, a lot better. This goes big time from throwing from uphill too. Throwing down the hill. All right, this is our normal. This is where it starts us. So if you change your aim downward, puts it in the basket. When you throw harder, all right, it actually stays there. Okay, this is messy. Hope this comes through on the video, but go away down here. All right, so this guy, I have him all stretched out, but let's fire him down a hill. So when it aims you downhill, okay, we're trying, you guys, from what I've seen, again, I haven't putted like this in a while, but it looks like I'm throwing downhill. If I were to throw my normal speed, I'm going to hit the band because I'm throwing downhill. So you guys are backing off on the speed, all right? Something like that. And it's a game of feel. And the hill might not be that exaggerated. It might be something probably a little, it's not that very big. So we'll do that. All right, here's our hill. Done with you. All right, so we'll say this, okay? And so you're going to try to make the change by aiming here instead. Right, obviously this is making it a lot more touchy. Factor in a wind, you get a wind lift. All right, now you have to take even more power off. All right, we're trying to, it's just tricky. So keeping all of that in mind, save the dumb file. All right, so let's get back. Let's freaking hit some putts. I'll show you kind of my aim points, what I'm doing. So 50 feet. All right, I'm gonna put anything inside 50. So starting at 50 is when I'll start throwing. So 50 for me, honestly, like, so I use the outline. So that top bit of where the fat one would be for me is probably like 70. All right, that's 80, 90, 100, 80, 90, somewhere in the white there, kind of. Again, I mentioned on my post, I really only use like 2 holds. I'll use the 60, 70-ish one right here. It's like 65, something like that, for pretty much anything inside, right? It hits pretty low middle chains, and um, because of that, it never spits out. I never get spit outs. I do. You'd think putting harder it would spit out. I can say confidently that I've had more putts spit out from 11 feet using the putt function than I've had 50 to 80 footers. So that's the speed. That first line is 70, so I can literally use that same whole back. I mean, 60, that's probably about all further, but I'd start throwing it a little harder past that speed. But okay, 70, pretty much 70 back. I might not go all the way down to my 100-foot hold because it will start to rise a little more at that speeds, but I'm definitely going to hold it. I do watch the wobble, so as I'm talking, it's wobbled up. I'm going to wait for that to not do it so I don't throw too high. Because these do come in lower, like I said, no spit outs, but they also will cage if it wobbles. I say wobble, sway. If the sway goes low, um, don't throw. Put that on a t-shirt. Okay, 65. I'll do it. I watch the wobble. See, I'll throw when that's low. That's a risk of cage when you do that. So I wouldn't have done that. Or if I'm impatient, I'll just add more power so it lifts higher into the cage. But that's the one thing I make sure that I'm minding the sway. Let's try to keep the 2 winds out of here. I haven't really been paying attention to that, so of course you're okay. Yeah, so I just had to cut a whole bunch of 2 winds. Back now. I remember where we were, but we'll go 100, right? So that was my 90. 100 is about right there. Oop. No, not the next hole. Man, mad respect for you guys who do this on the reg. Hopefully, if I make more videos, they become a little smoother than this. What a mess. Okay, so you get the idea. I want this point, back it up. I will do that out to the 100-foot mark right there. After that, I'm pretty much playing touchy throws like you guys are, which I don't particularly love. You know that. When I hit 125, that's when I will for sure stop doing it. But I'm kind of guessing you guys would throw it about like that. Yeah. So I hit this point, and I'm doing this chevron 2, same site. Okay, and this really applies to accurate windbreak hook throwers. You see, got pink arch, cityscape, I guess, orange clouds. Orange clouds is what I'm looking at. Orange clouds goes to the middle of where the thin bands would be here, and that's my 125. Boom. So you'll notice that never gets higher than the chains or lower than the cage. So that whole, you could actually throw that from shorter distances if you had ceiling issues. So keep that in mind. Restart. Okay, so now we're throwing longer shots. Maybe now we're shorter, but like I said, 119. I probably won't try to guess that distance right. Another style. I'm just gonna throw my 125 right at it, with the hope it's still low enough power where it's not gonna change its flight. You're not gonna get me turn at this aim point. Kind of get out to right around here. I would start to expect to see a little turn, so that's my 125. I'll give it a little more. Okay, didn't get the turn. Okay, 153. Hold for a hope would be maybe right over right here. And right there, you saw it turned a little bit. So I'm like, man, I'm right there. It's almost getting ready to get out of the basket. So I'm definitely in the realm where I'm looking at the wind, which now would be, yeah, hey, what do you know? Great time for a 2-wind to show up. This is a tail right to left. That's going to make this disc go left. So there's no way this thing's going to turn. I'm throwing hope from 154 all day. Going to give it the ability to go a little bit to the left. See, it's even going to miss left because the wind didn't even give it enough of a chance. But hopefully, at least you see how consistent these throws are coming out. And I guess I should have. Another concern people seem to have is, man, you must have crazy comeback rates. I really don't. Okay, 165. I've got a head left or right. The hope, no way the hope will work for this. So just to illustrate that fact, I'll just launch one of these. It's going right. Okay, it's the right height. But I'm paying attention to that wind. For me, obviously, you guys would switch for whatever the heck you're throwing because I don't think anybody in the game is throwing a challenger from here. But I'm going Jolly, and it is pretty much the exact same holds except it's more stable. So anything longer than that now, I'm throwing challenger. But anything longer than that is going to be full throws. So that's another video. Let's go. I wanted to look at a couple other things, like some elevation change, because this is honestly where Westy, in your second video with elevation change, you were talking about, hey, if you have any tips, chime in. So that's where I was like, hey, you know what? I think what I do from a spot like this would probably be something useful. But all right, default aim puts you way up here, and I think what he was doing was like, oh, this is 60, but I'm gonna guess that this is about a 20. I only need 23 feet of power, and my head was just, it hurt so bad. I didn't like that. It would drive me nuts. So I need to aim lower, right downhill. So what I do when I'm above the hole, this would be my normal aiming point. I give it a band, right? If it's a big uphill, like I would say, this is probably deserves a little bit extra, but I'll put it down here. What this is doing is it's aiming me right about here at the bottom of this basket. This is where it's going to get a little counterintuitive. You guys are trying to figure out how much to take off. I'm throwing the same dang power. Same power. It's so easy. In fact, it's easier because you're aiming down. When the disc lifts, it's lifting you up into the chains, and from this angle, it's very difficult to even throw it too hard. Also, when you're throwing down into the basket, impossible to spit out. That sucker's going in. So, I mean, it's automatic. There's no figuring. I mean, I guess your aim point maybe, but it's, I think, an easier thing to guesstimate than trying to range it. Right. and go lower, I can throw the sucker so hard. Doesn't even matter, it's going in. Um, so that's interesting. I thought that was one of the big things. Yeah, there we go. So I'm throwing this uphill. Um, I changed my aim point when I was throwing downhill. I'm changing my power when I'm throwing uphill. So 70, I told you 70 was here. I'm going to give it the extra band, an extra 20 feet or so from this incline. With the wind, I'll aim at a tiny bit lower, but that's what looks like this, and it's automatic. Speaking of wind, I forgot to tell you about how I calculate for wind. So I also watch some of you guys putt, and I was just shocked at all the wind adjustments you guys are making too. So what I do is very simple, pretty darn effective. 4 is a heck of a wind to start with. So calm aiming point would be right here, right? A little right to left. I'm going to let it move. So with a 2 wind, I give it the band. Okay, 3 wind, I give it about another band's worth. 4 wind, another band. Okay, um, that I'll put my normal from 65 feet. All right, got a little up on me there, but I'm just allowing the wind to. The wind's going to add some extra lift to it. All right, and once it does that, um, it's just going to track towards the hole like normal. Okay, I'm trying to throw some headwind putts for you. Similar situation. I got 66 normal aim point. I'd be adjusting down to there for a 3 wind. Throwing my normal speed. It wobbled down. I didn't adjust. I'm rushing. Okay, sorry, I don't know where I cut that off, but I got interrupted again, so I'll just keep throwing some of these windy putts. Okay, 88. Normal end point right. Actually, a little bit downhill. And then I'm going to give myself a couple for the wind. I'm looking at my 90 hold. Okay, so pretty repeatable from wherever you're putting from. Tailwinds. Sorry, people bothering me. All right, so tailwinds. This might be a little longer than I would have wanted to take a crack at a first tailwind, but okay. Normal, I might give it about half what it is, and then of course it's gonna go left. But okay, that's how I wind. So let's do one more, maybe something that has a little more elevation. When it comes to making putts, I have no idea why that turns so much out of my hand, but there it is. I'm gonna freaking be putting this one. Good night. My bad. I didn't want to leave it too far up the hill, but I guess I just will throw it further up the hill. Okay, 102. Alright, so I'm playing downhill. It's pretty far downhill, so I got my aim point there. And there's pretty much no wind going on, so I'm just throwing 102 power. Same power. I'm not guessing powers, I'm just adjusting for the slope. Slightly more severe slope, aim a little bit further down. But I'm throwing it the same way. So that's pretty much it. So I'm really actually super curious about what you guys think about this. Seemed almost like a negative reaction to how hard I was putting. Reese was talking about the lift on a putter, um, and about how he'd switched to a fuse because he wouldn't want the putter coming down. And I think what he was talking about was if we were it's like if I was trying to throw a hope this far, I would never try to throw a hope this far. I mean, wouldn't even know where I'd probably something like that. Okay, you can see how much that putter's dropping. All right, that's way too far out. I think my max range for me throwing a putter would be about right here. Definitely not a hope, but it would need to be. Okay, see that putter's still moving forward. I'm still able to aim it down and get it going. But if I have to get above that kind of second mark, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to throw a putter from there. I would throw like from this range. I'm throwing core probably about there. Swing and a miss. Okay, and that's about as bad as probably about as bad as my comebackers are going to be. 68 feet, which are automatic, so I don't worry about comebackers. I rather have them more consistent, repeatable throw in. Cores are very susceptible to tailwinds. They're going to move, so the fact that it's right to left, going to give it a little extra. Okay. So I think this would be a whole nother video. Right. So, anyways, before I got off topic there, I'm interested to get feedback. I mean, I want to see feedback. I'm gonna throw this out, tag myself in the YouTube page, I guess. Try to tag a few of y'all's names that we were having a discussion with. Because I'm curious, man. Do you really think that this looks that aggressive? Because I really don't feel like I'm being that aggressive. Because you can. I mentioned the air balance play that I have, and I will use it if, like, let's say it's 145, and I have a low hanging tree branch there. I know that if I aim here with the Challenger, anywhere from 115 to 145, I'm gonna put something chain height going by, and it's actually pretty consistent. Okay, I didn't adjust the aim for the wind, so it's my bad. Never pay attention to the wind. Sunshine go in. All right, that's a better height than the wrong disc. But all right, that's aggressive. It's not like I'm throwing that shot from 120. I could, but I don't. So I don't feel like I'm being that aggressive. It's definitely repeatable. So I really curious to know what y'all think. So let me know, and yeah, appreciate the discussion. So thank you guys. See you later.